officially Bears football season, folks. What is going on, y'all? Fast Sports Talk back at it with another video talking, of course, some NFL, talking about the Chicago Bears, my Chicago Bears, because I am a big Bears fan. And if you are too, make sure to go ahead and hit that big subscribe button and subscribe to this channel and turn on post notifications, because I do a lot of Bears content as well as other NFL content and NBA content as well. But again, if you're a Bears fan, you're going to want to subscribe and don't want to miss out. With that being said, here to give you guys my official 2018-19 season preview for the Bears. Now, I have done a number of videos already on the Bears in terms of, bold predictions. I've done videos in terms of, where I project their season, in terms of the record to be. So I've done a bunch of Bears videos already, so you guys can go ahead and check those out. But I'm going to kind of combine everything in one and give you guys my full season preview of what I expect from the Bears this season. So what I expect from the offensive end, defensive end, what I expect from, obviously, the season in terms of the record. Do I see the Bears making the playoffs? Do I not? And I'll throw in some numbers in terms of player projections as well, and kind of end it there. So with that being said, let's get started. So of course we start with the offensive end, and we start with none other than Mitchell Trubisky, our franchise quarterback. And yes, I am saying franchise quarterback because Mitch still has a lot of doubters out there, but I am sold on him, even though it's only been one season. So let's talk about that season real quick. Played 12 games last year. We know that because we had to go through that stupid Mike Glennon experiment. Thank God that ended in just 4 games. But Mitch started for 12 games. Just had a little over 2,000 yards, 7 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. So a little inconsistent there. Numbers weren't great. But again, a rookie quarterback playing with an archaic, dinosaur-like system on the offensive end with that head coach John Fox, who I'm so glad we got rid of. So big things coming for Mitch this year. I totally see it happening. Now, of course, I've given my predictions on where I feel like Mitch will be numbers-wise, but I will repeat that for you guys. But again, with Matt Nagy as the new head coach of the Bears, remember, Matt Nagy comes from the Chiefs, the Andy Reid coaching circle, and this is a guy who as the OC of the Kansas City Chiefs, they were top 5 in offense, total offense and offensive yards a game. So he knows how to coach on that end, and that is exactly what we need when you have a young quarterback like a Mitch Trubisky. So that is in Mitch's favor. And then no other quarterback had more upgrades on their weapon side of things as Mitch Trubisky did. Folks, the best receiver on the Bears last year was Kendall freaking Wright, okay? Kendall Wright. I believe the Bears only had one receiver go over 50 yards like the entire season or something like that. It was bad. It was really bad, folks. I don't even want to talk about it. I don't want to think about the receivers from last season. But my point being is it was bad. This year, huge, massive upgrade from Mitch. We've got Allen Robinson. I know he's coming off an ACL injury, but we know he's a Pro Bowl type of talent. Easy 1,000-yard receiver, a 1,000-plus yard receiver. We've got the rookie receiver that I'm really high on out of Memphis, and Anthony Miller, second-round pick. Telling you folks, this kid is a real deal. He's going to be a stud. He's going to be Mitch's go-to guy coming out of the slot. Love him. Absolutely love him. Target him in fantasy drafts. You're not going to want to regret it. We've got our deep threat, our burner, and Taylor Gabriel coming over from the Atlanta Falcons. And then we've got my sleeper tight end in all of fantasy football. If you guys want to check out my fantasy football videos, go ahead and do that as well. My recent Trey Burton from the Philadelphia Eagles, who was backup to Zach Ertz, but I believe now is the starter. He is going to flourish in Matt Nagy's offense. So you look at the fact that you've got that, and I haven't even mentioned Tariq Cohen, who was a rookie last year, and now going to the second year, he's going to be very electric, and Jordan Howard as well. Mitch has a humongous upgrade in terms of what's surrounding him. You're talking about going from a Toyota Camry to essentially a Maserati at this point. That is how bad that receiving core was last season. So with those two things combined, I expect Mitch Trubisky to throw over 4,000 yards. That's right. I'm doubling his yards, total yards, and I expect him to throw about 24 touchdowns and 16 interceptions. The interceptions are a little high, but that's because I feel like he's going to be throwing the ball a lot, and when you throw the ball a lot, there's more room for error. So 1 pick a game is what I expect from Mitch Trubisky. That's what I expect from the quarterback of the Bears. Again, let's talk about the receivers now with Allen Robinson, Taylor Gabriel, Anthony Miller, like I mentioned. I do feel like we always forget Kevin White, and I always do that. But, again, Kevin White's always freaking hurt. but I don't think he is going to be, that much of an impact player in this offense. He's just always hurt, and he hasn't done much in this league, anything at all. I think Anthony Miller has a chance, hear me out, has a chance to top 1,000 yards, even as a rookie, because I feel like he's going to be fed the ball a lot. I've already mentioned what I feel about Trey Burton as a sleeper tight end. I mean, this is a guy who can easily put up 700-800 yards receiving. Allen Robinson, again, can easily put up 1,000 yards. Taylor Gabriel is going to be more of a deep threat burner, so I don't really know if I can predict his numbers very accurately, because he's probably just going to catch long touchdowns. But again, who knows? It could be surprising. But on the offensive end, I expect the Bears to be certainly in the upper half of the league in terms of offensive numbers. I'm talking about yards a game, average total yards, average yards a game, and everything in between. So top 15 in the league with the potential to be top 10. That is how much I believe in this Bears offense. Okay, with that being said, let's switch over to the defensive side. So looking at the Bears defense, I mean, they were more than solid last season, folks. I mean, there were times where they basically carried the offense because the offense was so porous last year, especially when Mike Glennon was starting. Again, don't get me started on that. But with that being said, that's another topic for another day. The Bears defense was legit last season. They were very underrated. I liked them a lot in fantasy as well. This season, they won't need to carry the offense because, like I expect, the offense to be much, much better, but the defense will still be solid. So let's start with, talking about the defense, we'll start with the D-line. And the D-line's solid, not spectacular, but still very solid. We've got Eddie Goldman. You've got Akeem Hicks, who's a stud. And then we've got the rookie we drafted, Bilal Nichols, who I think has a chance to start as well. So there's some depth there. We've also got Jonathan Bullard, Roy Robertson Harris. So guys like that. But again, we've got two guys who we know are rock-solid starters, and then we've got a rookie, and then we've got a couple other guys who might rotate in. So with that being said, D-line solid, not spectacular. Let's move on to the linebacker position. This was a sign of weakness last year for the Bears. We certainly wanted to address it in the draft, and they did that with Roquan Smith, their first-round draft pick, and now that little hiatus with the contract situation's over. So Roquan Smith is locked and loaded and ready to start, folks. This was the best college player on the defensive end last season, and he's got a chance to win Defensive Rookie of the Year. That is how talented Roquan Smith is. He's going to start alongside Danny Trevathan, I believe, who's also a very good linebacker. And then we've got our other draft pick, Joel Iggy. I call him Iggy because good luck pronouncing that last name. But the starters will be Trevathan and Roquan Smith. So clearly we upgraded there. I also have Nick Kay. We also have Nick Kay. What am I saying? I also have him, who's going to obviously provide depth as well alongside Joel Iggy. But again, the starters are there. Outside, let's talk about Leonard Floyd, who I like. But again, he's very inconsistent, showing flashes, but he always manages to get hurt. And he's gotten hurt this season too in the preseason. I mean, my God. Leonard Floyd, please just stay healthy for once. But if we take a look at Leonard Floyd, he's really sort of the only solid outside linebacker we have. The other guys, Kylie Fitz, is a rookie in the 6th round. Aaron Lynch is recovering from a hamstring injury. So I think a lot of things could change there. But outside of Leonard Floyd, a lot of question marks. And even Leonard Floyd's a question mark. So, again, a linebacker core. Can I freaking talk? Linebacker core improved, but again, solid, not spectacular. Let's talk about the secondary. Secondary is also very, very solid to me because all 4 of our starters from last year are returning. We've got Prince Amukamara coming back, Eddie Jackson, Kyle Fuller, Adrian Amos, so both the cornerbacks and the safeties. And this group was very good last year too. The problem was they were never getting interceptions. I want to see more interceptions from the secondary, and that's what they need this year. Turnovers are what makes or breaks you and decides games. That's what I need from the secondary. So overall, I expect the Bears defense to be solid, but not spectacular. So that seems to be obviously the key here for the Bears. But they don't need an elite defense because, like I said, if the offense does what I expect them to do, this can be a very good team. So that's what I expect from the defensive end. So now let's talk record-wise. What do I project for this Bears team? So record-wise, I have already made my prediction for the Bears. But again, I will repeat it here. And I will tell you guys if I expect this Bears team to make the playoffs or not. Even though we are in a very, very tough division, folks. So just keep that in mind. Just please just keep that in mind. We're in the division with the Vikings and the Packers, and the Lions are no slouch. They're not the Browns, okay? They're not like the Bills or anything like that. They are still decent. But with that being said, prediction for the Bears in terms of record, I have them going 8-8. Now, you might be like, Fies, you talked about the offense improving and the defense is going to be solid, but you're still giving them 8-8. Folks, listen, the reason I went 8-8, and I do agree it's a little conservative, is because of the schedule and in spite of it. Okay, again, what are you talking about, Fies? Here's the thing. The division that we're in is very tough. We got to play the Vikings twice, the Packers twice, the Lions twice. Four out of those 6 games could easily be losses, because as good as the Bears I think will be this season in terms of improvement, I certainly don't see them as good as the Vikings. They're not going to be. And the Packers as well, I think we're a notch below the Packers just because they have that quarterback advantage, and they upgraded the secondary as well. So 4 out of your 16 games are already very tough. And then, of course, you play teams like the Patriots. You've got other tough games in the schedule. Now, I will say the Bears go from facing the league's 7th toughest schedule of defenses to one of the 10 softest. So they have the 17th overall schedule in terms of, easiness and opponent, win percentage. But with that being said, if I take both into account, the division they're in and who they face, and again, I made my win-loss prediction. I went game by game. You go check out that video. I have the Bears going 8-8. I think that's a safe, solid prediction for this team. The back half of their schedule is a little tougher, so I expect them to get a lot of the wins early on, and we'll see what happens from there. So that is what I predict for the Bears this season in terms of their record. Finally, will the Bears make the playoffs? And really the short and simple answer is no, I don't believe so. Do they have a chance? Absolutely. Like, if you asked me the same question last year, I'd say, hell no, they have no shot at making the playoffs. They're rebuilding. But this year, I do think they have a shot. And I know a lot of people have compared this Bears team to the Eagles and the Rams, young quarterback, new head coach who's an offensive, minded coach who's an offensive genius, and they can make that turnaround. But here's the thing, folks. If the Bears were in the AFC, I might put them in the playoffs. But in the NFC, which is stacked, it's very difficult for me to see the Bears making the playoffs, because you take a look at just, again, division winners that I've already predicted. I have the Vikings, Eagles, the Saints, and the Rams, each winning their division. So those are the 4 playoff locks. And then my 5th lock is the Packers. I just think Aaron Rodgers being back, you can't keep him out of the playoffs. So already that's 5 teams there. So you've only got 1 spot left for who? The Falcons, the Panthers, the Seahawks, the 49ers, maybe the Cowboys. And then you throw the Bears into that mix. So you've got a lot of teams that you can make the case for are better than the Bears, and obviously could be worse than the Bears. But you cannot say definitively that the Bears are better than all those teams. So certainly the numbers or the conference is not in their favor for the Bears, and that's why I'm saying, even though they can improve, I don't think they'll make the playoffs, just because it's like being in the Western Conference in the NBA, just because of the level of competition around them. So again, to me, will that make it the season a failure? Absolutely not. I do still think we're still in a rebuild, if you will. Mitch Trubisky still has to make strides. We still have to figure this out. Again, this is all projections. We have to see how the season plays out. And again, it is not a lost season if the Bears do not make the playoffs. Honestly, if they do make the playoffs, I'd be very, very shocked because of the competition around them. But again, it's not a lost season if they do not make the playoffs. So I don't want you guys to take that as a negative thing. I'd love for them to do it, but I gotta be realistic. You know that, okay? So with that being said, that is what I think, folks. So I've given you guys my offensive, defensive predictions. I've given you guys my record for the Bears, and I've given you guys whether I think they will make the playoffs or not. So let me know what you guys think now. Give me your Chicago Bears predictions for this season. What do you expect? Again, go ahead and check out my other videos for my other Bears input that I've made as well. And leave a comment down below if you guys agree with me or disagree with me. If you guys like this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. It really helps me out. And leave a comment down below. Really appreciate that. As always, thanks for watching.